What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given here with your afternoon snap, and in today's video we're just going to be taking a look at one game. This is a really sweet game that I just played, so I figured I would throw it up here on the YouTube channel just to get something out there, just to get a little bit of content. I've been pretty busy. I do have a lot of other content that I want to showcase as well. I won a gold conquest with this list, and I also used it to climb all the way from 70 up to infinite this season. So I've got a lot of sweet games to showcase. Subscribe and stay tuned if you want to see more sweet Cerebro 3 action. I really like this deck. I think that it's really good versus Loki, which I identified at the beginning of the season, and that is the chief reason that I'm playing it. But it also just has a lot of really cool and interesting lines and cool counterplay, and it's doing a lot of fun stuff. That's exactly what we're going to look at in today's game. This one is a little bit weird. It's not your typical Cerebro 3-line, and part of the problem is Xandar. Xandar's not too big of a problem. We can change it with Scarlet Witch, or we can just put Cerebro and Mystique there, and they're going to get pumped up to 1, and that's not going to mess up my Cerebro 3 stuff. But X-Mansion is also kind of a tricky location, and the tricky thing about it is that if we get something bigger than 3 there, we will have to Valkyrie that location. So I decide I'm going to Scarlet Witch that location because I have the Scarlet Witch. I don't have the Valkyrie. Had I had the Valkyrie, maybe I make a different choice here, but I've got the Scarlet Witch, so I'm going to throw that into the middle location, which then turns into the Space Throne. Now, this could actually be good for me. It's bad right now because I've only got 3 power in the Space Throne, but we actually win this location right now. We Cerebro, pump Scarlet Witch up to 5, then we Mystique, pump Scarlet Witch up to 7, and Silk is definitely going to land in the Space Throne at some point. So I'm going to play Cerebro into Xandar and Snap. We could still potentially Magic into Xandar down the line, but for right now I'm just going to throw my Cerebro cards into Xandar in case we don't get anywhere better to put them, and then I'll concentrate on winning Westview, hoping that that's not a bad location for us in the future. My opponent plays a Medusa Center plus a Spider-Man Miles Morales, but that's basically the same. It's 5 power in the center, we tie it with 1 Cerebro effect, and then we beat it next turn with the second. So that's the plan. Collapse Mind's going to slow that down a little bit though, and we're going to have to skip turn 4. We did draw Valkyrie, so it's kind of awkward that we could have just Valkyried and let X-Mansion do its thing, but we didn't know what we were going to draw. So you got to play with the cards that you are dealt, and here we are dealt a bunch of rocks. So we are going to not play for those cards that we are dealt to clear out those rocks and give us some other opportunities to play on the next 2 turns of the game. We did just play Cerebro, so we have to play Mystique as our next card here. Both myself and my opponent, who was a great sport, by the way, for this game, we're both going to skip. And then this turn, it's a little bit awkward. It's actually the last opportunity that I have to play Magic because it's turn 5. But I can't play Magic and Mystique, and I need to play Mystique first if I want to pump up that Scarlet Witch and win the center location. Now, I didn't know my opponent was going to play Omega Red. I literally just realized that I think my opponent was playing Cerebro 5 this game. I was thinking about it, like I said, I just played this game, and I was like, nobody plays Omega Red. Why were they playing that? And then I realized they're probably playing Cerebro 5, but Omega Red blows me out here, because now my opponent is winning in the Space Throne, which I was planning on kind of sneakily winning with my Cerebro and Mystique combination. So this is really awkward. Now I'm losing in both of those first 2 locations. I'm winning the Collapse Mine. I was basically going to win that either way, as my opponent would probably push off of it. And that's kind of where we get to some more creativity in this game. It's very likely that my opponent will just assume that I'm going to win in the Collapsed Mine and just give me that location. They've already won in the Space Throne, barring Jeff. So if they can just win Xandar, they probably win this game. And I'm thinking maybe that's what they're thinking. And if so, then maybe I can still find a sneaky way to win this one. I'm just going to throw Bast into Collapse Mine for a little bit more power, but now my plan is to Valkyrie into Xandar, and then I'm playing Cerebro 4. So in the battle of Cerebro 3 versus Cerebro 5, Cerebro 4 is actually going to be what comes out on top of this one. It's a highlight game. I'm showcasing it here so you kind of know where this one's going. My opponent's feeling confident. They are going to snap on the final turn of the game. Pretty bold move there. But here's what I'm like, if I'm my opponent right now, I'm thinking they're probably going to play for Xandar, thinking that they've already won in the Space Throne just to shore up that final location. And they don't really play for it one way or the other. They play Polaris because that's all that they had. Pulls over my Scarlet Witch. And then I'm going to flip over Valkyrie, get a win in Xandar. That'll even beat the Silk because all of my cards will be huge from them now getting the Cerebro and Mystique buffs. And then I get Silk out of there, and I actually win in the Collapsed Mine as well. So a really, really well fought battle. My opponent was a good sport about it as well, playing Cerebro 5. But for today, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.